After the age of 60, the male body begins to undergo many changes that are not always easy to talk about but are absolutely essential to understand if we want to maintain our independence, comfort, and dignity. One of the most overlooked yet vitally important areas of men's health in this stage of life is the prostate. It's small, it's often ignored, but it plays an enormous role in our quality of life. Whether it's getting up several times a night to urinate, feeling that uncomfortable urgency during the day, or quietly worrying about the risk of prostate cancer, the truth is that the prostate needs our care now more than ever. But here's the good news. It doesn't always take medications, surgery, or complicated treatments to protect and improve prostate health. Sometimes, the most powerful solutions lie in the small things we do each day. Over the course of my medical career, working with hundreds of men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, I've seen again and again that just a few consistent habits can make a remarkable difference not only in prostate function but in overall vitality and well-being. Let me start with something surprisingly simple: hydration. Most men I speak with understand the importance of drinking water, but few realize how much timing matters. It's not just about how much water you drink. It's when you drink it that influences how your prostate and, more importantly, your bladder responds. As we age, the bladder becomes more sensitive, the muscles around it can weaken, and the prostate, often growing slowly in size due to a process called benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH, begins pressing against the urethra and bladder. This makes nighttime trips to the bathroom more frequent, which in turn affects your sleep, your mood, and even your heart health. To mitigate this, I always recommend that my older male patients front-load their hydration during the day. Begin drinking water early, soon after waking. By the time midday comes, continue drinking steadily, but begin to taper your intake in the late afternoon. Most importantly, reduce water and fluid intake after 6 p.m. Why? Because this simple adjustment often leads to fewer nighttime awakenings to urinate, allowing for more uninterrupted deep sleep. And better sleep improves testosterone, brain function, and immune strength. Think about it. By simply changing when you drink, not necessarily drinking less, you allow your body to reset a more natural rhythm and take some pressure off your overworked urinary system. Now let's move to movement. Specifically, I'm talking about walking, but not just any walking. I'm referring to a deliberate, short walk after each meal. It's a strategy that's been proven by both clinical science and my personal observation to do far more than just aid digestion. For older men, a 10 to 15-minute walk after breakfast, lunch, and dinner can work wonders on blood sugar regulation. Why is this important for prostate health? Because when blood sugar is uncontrolled, inflammation rises. Chronic inflammation doesn't just impact your pancreas or your heart, it affects your entire body, including the prostate. Over time, this low-grade inflammation contributes to prostate enlargement, pain, urinary issues, and even increases your long-term cancer risk. But walking after meals stabilizes glucose, improves circulation to the pelvic area, and gently stimulates metabolism without stressing your joints. It doesn't require a treadmill, a gym membership, or perfect weather. Just a walk around your home, your yard, or even a hallway if mobility is limited. And here's what's beautiful about it. This walking practice also benefits your digestion, mental clarity, cardiovascular function, and joint mobility, all crucial for maintaining independence and energy as we age. If I could prescribe just one free, side effect-free medication to every man over 60, it would be a post-meal walk. And the great part is it's never too late to start. Even if you've been sedentary for years, even if you have arthritis or a chronic condition, just beginning with a slow walk of a few minutes can spark improvements. The key is consistency, not intensity. Now, we move into a topic that often makes men blush, chuckle, or look away, but I assure you, it's as medical and important as anything else we've discussed. That is the role of regular ejaculation in maintaining prostate health. Now, this is not about sexual performance, and it's not just about pleasure. This is about the physiology of the prostate itself. You see, the prostate is a gland that stores and produces seminal fluid. If that fluid sits stagnant for too long, it can cause congestion within the gland, which leads to inflammation and potential blockages. In fact, a landmark study from Harvard Medical School followed over 30,000 men and found that those who ejaculated at least 21 times per month had a significantly reduced risk, over 30% lower, of developing prostate cancer. And this was consistent. Regardless of whether ejaculation occurred through intercourse or self-stimulation, the mechanism is believed to be related to what we call prostatic drainage, the act of flushing out toxins, damaged cells, and waste products that can accumulate in the gland. Think of it like cleaning out your engine. If it sits too long, without use, the oil becomes thick and dirty, and the machinery starts to clog. Regular use keeps it running efficiently. This isn't about pressure or performance. It's about health and prevention. And yes, even for men who live alone, this is a habit worth incorporating. It is private, natural, and according to the science, profoundly beneficial. Now I know some men worry, what if I don't feel the same drive I used to? What if I've had surgery or take medications that make this difficult? That's okay. What matters here is that the pathway remains active as much as is comfortable. And in cases where function has declined, working on circulation, hormone balance, and pelvic floor strength can help restore a level of natural rhythm that benefits the prostate and beyond. It is not about comparison or about connection with your body and honoring what it needs to stay healthy. Let me share a quick story. One of my patients, Richard, 68 years old, came to me with all the classic signs of BPH, frequent urination, weak flow, and feeling like he never emptied his bladder fully. He had been offered medication but was hesitant due to side effects. Instead, we worked on 3 things. We adjusted his hydration schedule, we added short walks after meals, and we discussed a realistic and comfortable plan to reintroduce regular ejaculation. Within 6 weeks, he noticed fewer nighttime awakenings. Within 3 months, he reported stronger flow and better confidence. Was it a miracle? No. It was biology working, the way it was meant to once the environment was right. These are not shortcuts or gimmicks. These are daily habits that realign your body's natural systems. So let's take a moment to reflect. The prostate, while small, influences your comfort, your sleep, your confidence, your intimacy, and even your risk of serious disease, but it does not exist in isolation. The choices you make around hydration, movement, circulation, and detoxification all converge at this gland. And in your 60s and beyond, every small improvement adds up. This is a time when you are wiser, more aware, and more deserving than ever of care that works with your body, not against it. I want to gently remind you that even the best habits cannot replace medical screening. I always advise men over 60 to get annual prostate exams and a PSA blood test. Early detection is not about fear, it's about giving you options, freedom, and peace of mind. The most successful health journeys I've witnessed are those where natural habits and medical vigilance walk hand in hand. Remember, nothing here requires fancy supplements or difficult routines. These are natural behaviors you can start today. Drink wisely by shifting fluids earlier in the day. Move wisely by walking after meals. Cleanse wisely by honoring the biological function of ejaculation. These are the quiet, powerful habits that respect the body's design. And over time, they work not just on your prostate, but on your energy, your clarity, your resilience. So wherever you are on your health journey, know this: change is possible at any age. You are not too late, not too far gone, not too old. The body, even at 60, 70, 80 or more, responds to care, consistency, and gentle attention. I've seen men turn around years of discomfort through these habits. I've seen marriages improve, sleep improve, confidence return. And I've seen men who once dreaded their health appointments walk in smiling because they feel in control. Again, that is what this is about, restoring your sense of power and peace. Start today. Take a sip of water in the morning, step outside after your meal, and reclaim your rhythm. That is the beginning of prostate health. That is the beginning of strength from within.